No, you know what? No. Don't even.
All right,
one,
fine.
no
Yeah.
one gets a
All right.
song. Who wants to do a fucking song today? You kidding me?
Wait, no.
We're at a funeral, man.
I'll do. You know what I'll do instead? I'll go for a high energy song. Really pick it up. You know, go.
Yeah, there we go.
Ba, 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 ba. Ba-da-da-da-da. Isn't everything great?
Wonderful days ahead.
Da, 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 football.
Here's the coach.
Yeah. Oh
Folks.
man, isn't it a great
It's
day?
an anime.
It's just a sunny day. It's fun and happy, and everyone's having a great time.
I do feel a lot better now, actually.
Yeah,
That
right?
really worked.
I mean, if you force yourself to smile, you'll end up feeling nice.
You start smiling.
Yeah, just start smiling.
Just try it. Try it at home right now.
Oh, I'm
right
trying.
now.
Do it.
I'm doing
Smile. Smile.
You know, we all knew this was gonna happen. Let's not kid
Yep.
ourselves.
We
it's-
literally, I mean, we
From the beginning of the year.
Yeah, like when did we start calling it? Probably like eight.
I mean, Cindy V's been calling it since like off season last
That's
year.
true.
Dude.
I mean, I mean, like, I feel like I've been banging the drum also of the like,
Yes.
just accept that it's gonna be.
Oh, you,
Chiefs
yeah,
3-peat.
absolutely. You've been
Yeah.
the one who has been like, guys, just come on. You know
Yeah.
it's gonna happen.
Yeah, and we're on the. Here it is.
Yep.
Here we are,
Here it is.
Here we are.
all together.
It's
Yep.
Let's hold hands and jump into the abyss.
it's genuinely like impressive at this point. How
No, wrong word. I don't care what the follow-up is to that. That's the wrong word for it.
it's not that the teams are impressive. It's more just how they've gotten here that's impressive.
Yeah.
I think more than anything. I mean, we had
I mean,
graphs.
situationally, yeah.
We had like statistics being like, the Chiefs are one of the worst undefeated teams ever, at least during the season, or like then they had their loss, or like one of the worst.
What was it? They
one
didn't
seed.
score more than 35 points in a game or something like that. I think it was even less than
it's-
that.
Until
Yeah,
the last
I mean-
game where they needed to score. And it's just, you know, this Chiefs team just feels like they're not good until they have to be good, and then they'll make like one or two plays, and then that's enough. Like that's all. That's just what it's felt like for the entire year. Also,
Man,
if you'll realize Apollo is not here.
Yeah.
I
right.
believe he's. I believe
Dude,
he's
I
on
don't
the
blame him
IR.
at all.
Stepping out for the Chiefs Eagles. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's on the IR for the season.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Ruptured heart.
yeah. It's a rough time in the league these days. It's rough times.
Yeah.
What the hell? What do we do? What's this show? What is this episode? There's news, I guess. There's a lot of news to talk about.
Yeah, I mean,
in
we'll
the
go
beginning.
through all the stuff, but like, I mean, we should also. Okay, here's what I think we should set as our goal for the
Okay.
podcast episode.
Okay.
I like this.
We need to fix the NFL today.
Ooh.
We're gonna figure out.
We've already had way more good ideas than they have over the course
Exactly.
of our podcast existence, so this
Yeah.
should be easy.
Get actual animals instead of players. That would
Yes.
help.
Armor
Anyway.
on all players immediately.
Exactly.
That's going to be rule number one.
Yeah,
right out of the
absolutely.
gate.
No
Yep.
kidding. But something that's gonna fix the parity situation of the NFL in the playoffs. Is the parity in the regular season pretty good? It's all right, you know. It's not
Right.
that bad. I mean, it was pretty bad this year. It was a lot, not many upsets.
Yeah.
But like, but you know, just the parity situation. We need the
Okay,
parity.
I do want that, but for every legitimate attempt at a solution, I also want one joke solution. I'm going to
Of
need
course.
a good
Yeah.
balance there.
I'm gonna guess that we're gonna have about 90% joke solutions.
That seems about right. That's maybe a little
It's
low.
probably about that.
That seems solid. Yeah,
So we'll we'll get into some news.
we'll rally
here.
back.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens with Apollo, where he goes. We might even, I could ask Sinvicta, be like, Sinvicta, you wanna back up
Come in for
quarterback? Come in here.
It's a rotating cast. I mean, that's
Yeah,
why
you never
the
know.
name is
Yeah.
so ambiguous. You never know who's
That's
going to
true.
show up.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we had some coaching hires.
Mhm.
We had the Raiders hiring GM John Spytek, which doesn't sound real.
That's a great. That's absolutely the main
That's
character
incredible.
of a best-selling spy novel series.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah, no, absolutely.
John Spytek, who
That's
was
just fake. There's
That's
no
not a
way that's a
person.
person. That's not a human person. That's like something that a writer comes up with when he can't think of a name for a character in his
Yeah.
spy novel.
it's like I really need a villain for this. We got John
Yeah.
Spy Tech.
Are you just naming things you see around the
Apparently he's with the Buccaneers, so now
Oh,
he's
okay.
going to the
Whoa.
Raiders. Wait,
Has he
yeah,
ever
as-
worked in intelligence?
I mean,
Well, he's been
I
an
don't know.
NFL coach for 20 years, so no.
Right. Oh, so that's his cover position.
Yeah, that's got to be his cover position.
Ooh, listen to this fun fact off Wikipedia. As a freshman at Michigan, he was teammates with Tom Brady.
Oh,
Whoa, look at that. That's
Uh-huh.
probably
Interesting.
why the Raiders took him.
You know
Yeah,
what?
Tom
Genuinely,
Brady.
that might be the reason.
that
It
actually,
is.
yeah, almost
That's
certainly
weird.
is. Yeah, he was probably friends with Tom Brady.
Yep. Then actually that would make sense because he was with the Bucks, and then he was, I think, Brady with the Bucks.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
yes,
it's
this is
all-
100% what this is.
It's all
Yeah,
I
no,
know.
yeah, it's nepotism. Yeah, 100%.
Actual journalism, guys. We're doing it.
That's
what
what
we're all
the
about.
podcast is. We're doing sports journalism.
So then, speaking of the Raiders, they have hired Pete Carroll,
Yeah.
which
Oh, Pete.
I actually think he's a good hire for the Raiders. They need a Pete
I
Carroll.
agree. I
Yeah.
agree. I think that's a good energy to have.
Yeah, like he's gonna
I'm
bring some
jealous.
fun, some excitement, some positivity to a franchise that really hasn't had that in I can't remember how long.
Ever?
He is 105,000 years old, so that's a bit
Yeah.
of a problem, but I don't think it's going to be a big deal.
But
Yeah.
he seems spry.
He's
honestly.
he's 74.
He's probably in better shape than I am.
Absolutely,
I mean,
dude.
yeah,
He's a very young 74.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, to be honest, he would. We have politicians older than him running
Yeah,
the country, so I
yeah.
think he can run a football team.
Start now. I'm already trying so hard to fend off the sadness from this.
So we'll see how that plays out, but I think that's a good hire. So in fact,
Yeah.
when you look at the AFC West now, the coaches are Sean Payton, Pete Carroll, Andy Reid, and Jim Harbaugh. Like,
Jesus
what an
Christ.
insane.
So
Yeah.
that issue with the NFL being stuck in a rut for the last couple of decades.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on how it shakes out, right? Because you have the AFC or the NFC North this year being the most competitive division or the best division ever in NFL history, and they fucking went out in the first round.
Yep,
Yeah.
they sure did. Well, the Lions went out in the second, but they didn't play in the first
Right.
round, so pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Uh,
And they lost to Jaden Daniels.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we had the Texans firing OC Bobby Slowick, who was actually a head coach candidate the last few years, and then this year he kind of took a step back, and now everyone's like, maybe not.
This is why you take your shot when you got it, I guess.
Definitely. But I mean, I'm sure he'll find a home somewhere.
Yeah, eventually. Yeah.
Yep. The Bengals hired DC Al Golden, who
I thought you were gonna say Al Gore.
Al Gore. Al Gore.
Wouldn't be the first time, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
He's been shaking around the league for a while.
Yeah.
He was the
Banging
DC
on
at
office
Notre
doors.
Dame. So
Okay.
Let me play.
Wow. That's a very impressive to have in your pocket. Like no one expects a fucking Al Gore, you know?
I mean, The Inconvenient Truth was a formative movie for me.
Yeah.
we will fix the Bengals defense and the climate.
That's not bad either, man. Y'all
Yeah.
pair well with the impressions, apparently.
Dude, actually, raise your hand in chat if you know who the fuck Al Gore is.
Oh no!
Like, is he even when was the last time Al Gore was relevant at all?
I guess
I
like
don't know,
late
man. I
90s,
feel like
early
most of our
2000s.
audience is our age, though, so they're
Probably, yeah.
mostly know,
I would
but
say so. They probably know.
to consider that for the youth is also weirdly like alarming, I guess. Well, though I don't know, like the
I mean, I
woke
don't know. Do
youth
people
know
need
who
to
Al
know?
Gore is,
Do
right?
they really need to know who Al Gore is? Does anybody need to know?
No, I guess not. Actually, yeah.
Um,
Not
so I mean, what
necessary.
if Al Gore was like late 90s, right?
Oh God,
yeah,
no! Is he
early-
really that old?
Well, I mean, early
No, I meant he was
2000s,
in
late.
power.
Oh,
in the government
right,
in the
got
late
it.
Yeah.
90s.
Okay,
Not
yeah.
like he's 76.
No way. Yeah.
No, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
wow,
he's
he's actually
Pete
older
Carroll.
than I
He's
thought.
Pete Carroll, yeah.
Yeah.
Although he actually looks worse than Pete Carroll right now.
Yeah, it's not surprising.
So,
Politician.
Yeah.
because I mean, yeah, if you were watching football during the time, that was, a lot of like Brett Favre, Peyton Manning, you had
Yeah.
all those dudes playing back then, right?
Mhm.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
I think our listeners were probably old
Yeah.
enough.
No, I think
Yeah.
I'd be surprised.
The Jaguars fired GM Trent Baalke after
Yep.
the whole scenario where they brought him back and everyone was like, "What are you doing?" And then everyone was like, "I don't know." And then the manager owner dude was like, "Yeah, I'd fire him if I have to." And then he did. He literally did fire him because he had to, because they brought in Buccaneers OC Liam Cohen, who
Mhm.
I mean, you look at the Buccaneers and their offense. It's pretty
Yeah.
good, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield and all this stuff. It was like, man, this seems like it'd be a really good hire with Trevor Lawrence and getting him to turn it around and change their offense. And he went there and he was like, I don't want the job. And then a day later, they fired Trent Baalke, and then he was like, never mind, I'll take the job. And so Liam Cohen is now the coach of the Jaguars.
Oh boy, if that doesn't sound like stability, I don't know what does.
Under Balky, the Jaguars had a 25-43 record,
Yep.
which
Yeah.
we knew, but to have it put that way is
You
pretty.
should look up Joe Douglas's record.
I don't even think I need to look that one up.
It's not good.
Yeah, Baalke made some unbelievable moves, like giving Gabe Davis $39 million over 3 years, which I'm sure you heard a lot about Gabe Davis this year because of that massive deal and all the plays he made.
Mhm.
Yep.
I looked up Joe Douglas. He's 32-68.
All right. That's pretty bad.
Oh yeah.
Liam Cohen, also kind of a goofy goober. I was watching his like press conference clips on Twitter, and he was like, "Here we go, guys, Duval." He's like,
He's trying to get that Dan Campbell energy.
yeah, he's trying to get that energy. But honestly, I think they kind of need that. They need some goofiness down there. Plus,
Oh yeah, I'm all about a goofy goober, dude.
Mhm.
yeah, and
I
honestly,
I almost prefer him.
the fact that he was able to get hired and get Trent Baalke fired, I think means more to the franchise than anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then we also had the 49ers hiring a new defensive coordinator. Can you guess who it is?
Trent
Me.
Close. It's Robert Saleh.
Oh, he's all right.
He went
so
back.
He's just back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was like, yeah, I think I'm done coaching as a head coach. I'm just going to go back to what I was good at. So he did.
Wow. So
we-
wait, hold on. That kind of means that he got ran out of Green Bay as well, because he was assistant over there, wasn't he?
He was kind of an assistant. He was like a contractor more than anything. And I think it's just because he was friends with LaFleur. And he was like, you can come hang out at my house while you're, chilling. He's like, all right. So it's mainly that. So then now he's going back to San Francisco.
Yeah.
So-
All right.
All right.
Yep. Then we had the Bears hiring their OC in DC for Ben Johnson. They had Dennis Allen, the former Saints coach, who actually is a good defensive coordinator. He's kind of another solid situation where he was good coordinator, bad coach.
Right.
And then they hired OC Declan Doyle,
Oh.
who I guess was the tight ends coach for
Is he gonna solve mysteries?
Declan Doyle.
Private Eye.
So
I mean,
really,
these are just free, like surefire bestsellers. We're just giving them away.
Yeah.
I mean,
Serious.
the OC doesn't even matter because it's going to be Ben Johnson calling plays. So he just probably wanted someone he could run ideas by more than
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
And then the Lions had to fix their coordinator positions because the other coordinator for the Lions, Aaron Glenn,
Mhm.
is now the head coach of
Yep.
the New York Football Jets.
Ooh, baby.
Yep. Well, I said it on the last podcast that it was going to happen.
Yep.
And it has. And all right. All right.
Oh,
Here we
man.
are.
All right.
That
Yeah.
delivery came right from where the skull was supposed to be.
Yeah. I mean, the Jets. I don't know. I feel as though I feel like I'm watching a GIF. That's what the Jets are. They're a
Yeah.
GIF.
Yes,
They
that's
it
excellent.
it just loops. So I mean, I'll see you in 3 years when we get our next head coach. That's a defensive guy.
Yeah.
Can't wait till this offseason when we pick D-line as our first
Oh,
draft
100%.
pick. Yeah.
Aaron Glenn
It's,
actually was fired up at his Jets news conference for his introduction.
I heard that.
Yep, reminiscent of Dan Campbell, and said, quote, "We're the frickin' New York Jets and we're built for this shit."
Oh no, this is the guy that was Dan Campbell, and that's right. Okay,
Yeah, he was Dan
remember now.
Campbell and hard.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it. I have to say, I find that to be a positive thing potentially.
Mhm.
But was he genuinely fired up? I will say from the quote, not a big fan of him saying frickin'.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm hoping that was some journalistic editing.
It's
but
gotta
that
be.
if he
I
said
mean-
freaking, that's you're done. You're cooked.
Yeah, that's
Come on.
that's
We're
it.
the
Rebuild in
darn
2
dang
years.
it New York Jets.
And we won't be pushed around, I'll tell you. Yeah.
I mean, I think he's a good hire. I don't know if it's what they need, but I mean, they need somebody that's going to motivate him, right?
They need to
new owner.
Yeah, they need a new owner. They
Yeah.
need to rebrand. Like this franchise is fucking cursed, man. And I don't know what. By the way, I did hear that he wants to bring Aaron Rodgers back and stuff.
Yeah, I think he
And,
said he's going to talk to him.
Yeah, so it just sounds like more of the same shit, if I'm being honest. Like, again, I'm sure he's a nice guy. He looks like a nice guy. He's got
He's
a nice
former
smile.
New York Jet, 1994.
He is a former New York Jet. That is cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I will mention this about him. Like, him being fired up is dope. I didn't watch it. I hope that he is legitimately fired up. Him being a former Jet and this being like a passion thing for him, like he wants the Jets to be good. That's good. That's like potentially good, and it is a bit unlike the other coaches we've had since Rex, because
Mhm.
Rex was also very personally invested in the Jets doing well.
Yeah.
You know, like his media personality is as the Jets head coach, and I think he was the Bills head coach for longer.
Mhm.
So, you
Yeah.
know, yeah, it's that's a good thing. So, I don't know. I'm not allowing them to give me any hope. I will say that.
You know, normally I would
yeah.
be like, Rob, you just gotta get your get your hopes up for a little
Yeah.
bit. You know, you got some, but after witnessing the last couple of years, I just I don't think I can even give you.
You
any
know what
sort
it
of
is
hope.
now.
Yeah, we know what it is.
You can see it. Yeah, it's just there's no saving it. It is what it is.
You got to see it to believe it if it's gonna get fixed.
Yeah, no, it's very much like give me some evidence that things are different, and I'll say all right,
Yeah,
sure.
If
And it's gonna take some serious evidence. I'm gonna be honest, by the way. Like we have to go past 10 wins, and then I'll be like, sure, all right.
I have
But if
to
we come
see
in
the New York
next year,
Jets clinch a playoff spot.
yeah, oh yeah, that would be. I mean, if Aaron Glenn, I would happily eat my words. In fact, that would make me the most happy if Aaron Glenn is like the guy and we get to the playoffs next year.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't see it happening.
Yeah. Well, that's. We'll see what happens. We got to get to the draft. We got to see who he's going to hire as his coordinator. Right. See who he brings in for the offense. Who knows? Could be somebody good. Maybe.
Yeah, as I'm seeing right now, Tanner Engstrand is a strong candidate for the OC position.
Yeah, I don't know who
or
that is.
Steve Wilkes. Yeah, I don't know.
I've heard of Steve
Tanner
Wilkes.
I have also heard of Steve Wilkes.
But I don't know where from.
Oh, the Lions. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, he's the passing game coordinator. Oh, dude, yeah, I would be in for that.
Yeah,
That would be great.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I would be psyched if that's the guy, which means almost certainly it's going to be Steve Wilkes. So who's Steve Wilkes?
Yep, Steve Wilkes, former coach of the Panthers, Browns.
He's a defensive assistant for most of his career.
Yep, that's really all you have to
get him
hear.
for OC.
Yeah, that's.
I hate this team. I fucking hate this goddamn team. They're gonna get a fucking defensive assistant to be their OC. Oh.
Yeah. The Jets have also hired a new general manager.
Yep, that's
Darren
right.
Moogie.
Yep, the Moogs.
The
Dude,
Moogs.
that's what we call them from way back. You know.
Yep.
You know how it is. Me and the
He
Moogs cracking open a cold one, mooging it up.
The Moogulator.
That's what they called him in college, man. It's because of the murder. He killed a lot of people.
Yeah, no, it was real bad.
It was an issue, yeah.
Well, let's learn a bit about Darren Moogie, according to the Jets on USA Today.
Okay.
6 things to know.
Reputable.
Not much of a playing career. Looks
Okay.
like he was drafted by the. Let's see. I don't think he was undrafted, but he went to the
Okay.
Falcons and the Cardinals, and that's about it. Then he went to a front office in Denver.
Oh, when?
2012 as a scouting intern, which
Wait, so
they
hold
were
on.
pretty good back then.
I don't know. I'm thinking that 2012 sounds remarkably close to the Osweiler pick.
2012 Denver, wasn't that their Denver was in the Super Bowl in 2016.
Yeah.
Was Peyton Manning. Broncos. 2012 Broncos were John Fox coach.
Yeah.
Brock Osweiler,
He was
Peyton
selected
Manning.
by the Denver Broncos in the second round of the 2012 NFL draft.
Oh man, this has been a fun sequence.
Maybe he's learned. Maybe he's learned.
He could, yeah, you know, could have
Everybody
learned.
changes. The Jets were the lone team to show interest in Moogie. Oh boy.
Oh, gets better.
Moogatron.
Oh boy, the Mooganator.
Again,
Oh.
brutal murder.
But
Yeah.
Moogie was with the Broncos during their Super Bowl win.
Yeah. Well, their Super Bowl win was largely to do with, you know, Peyton
There
Manning.
was
and not-
one big piece of
To be
that
fair,
puzzle.
Yeah.
They also had a good defense.
They did, which I don't think he scouted like Von Miller and stuff.
I'm not
you know.
sure. Well,
Well, if he came in on 2012, he came in for the years where they did the drafts that ended up tanking their post-Peyton future
yeah.
until now.
I mean, I think he helped draft their current team, which is pretty decent.
Oh, did
So,
he?
I mean,
Okay.
Yeah. So
Was he? So he stayed there with until Peyton?
yeah, he was the director of player personnel. In 2021, he got promoted. So he was there for
Okay.
like nearly a decade. Then assistant general manager the year after that.
So come on, Rob. Why don't you
Yeah,
give
he rose-
optimism a try?
Yeah, there you go.
You know, I did
I
10 years ago.
Let's see. Then we got the Lions promoting defensive coordinator Kelvin Shepard.
Mhm.
So he was, I believe, their linebackers coach. So he's now their DC. And then they've hired John Morton, who is a former Lions receiver, to be their OC.
Oh,
Sweet.
okay.
Promoting in house.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
So
Yeah.
that's
We were wondering about that, what they were gonna do.
yeah.
Smart way to go about it.
I mean, that seems like the Dan Campbell way, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Promote his guys.
Yeah. So good for. I mean, they'll probably still be good. Let's not.
Yeah, I'm sure
Without
they
a
will.
doubt, yeah. They're gonna have
Well,
their
I mean,
defense back.
I guess we will see though, because I mean, you know, the whole time that the Lions have had this resurgence has been under Ben Johnson, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
So I mean, I guess we'll find out.
We will
Maybe
see
not.
if it's more of a Ben Johnson thing or more of a a system thing or the players. Like, you never know until
Yeah.
they get another chance, which this is probably be as good of a chance as he'll get with the Bears and the top quarterback pick. So then we have maybe the best coaching hire of the week. The Cowboys hiring Brian Schottenheimer. That's right. Son of Marty Schottenheimer.
Yep.
And this was the most Cowboys hire I think they could have ever done.
Well, maybe besides Coach Prime.
Yeah, which at least that would have been fun. This is just like bad.
This is just bad. This is a bad. I mean, you know, again, I would be happy to watch. Well, I wouldn't be that happy to watch the Cowboys be good. But Brian Schottenheimer, I don't look at. He was a former Jets OC, actually.
Great resume.
So that's isn't that isn't that an exciting?
He was at the Jets. He went to the Rams for a few years, and he went to Georgia, and then the Colts, and then the Seahawks, and then the Jaguars, and then was I feel like he went like
real
up and then
row.
down and then up again because he ended up a coaching analyst a couple years ago for the Cowboys before he was offensive coordinator, and now head coach. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
it's that's a lot of fans are upset. If you couldn't figure out, fun fact: so his offenses have ranked the following in yardage: 25th, 26th, 16th, 20th, 11th, 25th, 23rd, 30th, 28th, 18th, 8th, 17th.
Hey, you got an 8th in there, dude.
Wow. Yeah, he got an 8th in there. So
he's had one singular season where he has broken top 15
out of
12.
12.
2. He had an 11th in there too.
Oh, he had 11. Okay.
Yeah, but top 10, 1 out of 12. Top 15, 2 out of 12.
Yeah.
That's yep.
Awful.
That's pretty bad. But don't
great.
worry, Cowboys fans. Jerry Jones has said something. He said, quote,
No, just stop there.
Yeah. Oh, thank God.
He said, quote,
He has spoken.
on
He has
fans being upset about the head coaching hire, he said, there's a very low percentage of this that is smiles and glory holes.
Oh, God. No. Read it again and be sure.
Quote,
No way.
there is a very low percentage of this that is smiles and glory holes.
What did
Like
he
it's a
mean?
fucking cereal?
It's
Well, I mean, look. No, it wasn't Jerry Jones, was it? I was thinking of Robert Kraft. Shit, I was
Yeah.
gonna make a joke.
Yeah, no,
about
all right.
him.
I mean, we can put those together
to be
in
fair,
our
I think
minds.
Jerry Jones.
It wouldn't be surprising to me.
Yeah, Jerry
I mean,
Jones has also had some instances pop up.
did he? I mean,
I believe there was like a
I'd be more shocked if that hadn't happened.
yeah.
Jerry Jones had like somebody was like suing him for saying that their kid was his. It was something like that.
Jesus.
Oh.
And like
Wait, Jerry, you're saying Jerry Jones stole a kid? Is that the
No, I think he
scenario?
impregnated a woman like 50 years younger than him, type of situation.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So,
Billionaires.
so yeah, he just talked about smiles and glory holes. So that's Jerry
That's
Jones.
Jerry.
All right, baby.
Uh,
Make sure that's preserved in the AI model.
Please.
Oh, so apparently Jerry Jones in 2012 said, I've been here when it was glory hole days and when it wasn't. I want me some glory hole.
So no one has bothered correcting him, is what you're telling me.
No. So apparently
They might
glory-
even think it's funny.
Apparently, according to Reddit, someone said glory hole is a commonly used expression in the oil and gas exploration business.
Oh, cool.
So-
Yeah, really relatable,
boy.
Jerry. Thanks.
That's hilarious.
I don't even, maybe he doesn't even know what it actually means.
I mean,
But
who's gonna?
someone should
He's
tell him.
surrounded himself. With,
Exactly. It's a
you
bunch
know,
of fucking sycophants following him around everywhere.
Someone
Yeah.
said he's literally just Mr. Burns. Like,
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
it's man.
See my vest.
What a world, huh? What
Yeah.
a goofy, strange
What a
world, man.
kooky times we're
Just
living
gotta
in, huh?
smile.
So that's the Cowboys situation, including all of their players getting older and like leaving or retiring. So the Cowboys are well on their way to last place, I would imagine. Although the Giants could be giving them some hard competition for that spot.
Oh, there's a few teams that are really trying to be the shittiest right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I believe that was all the. Oh no, we got
Breaking
as
breaking
of
news.
today, breaking
Bup, bup, bup,
news. Matt Eberflus,
Oh.
former Bears head coach, well known for his unbelievable antics this year, as we've probably went over, such as using timeouts properly, has been hired as the Cowboys defensive coordinator.
Go ahead and throw that one into the bin with them.
Yep. Now, I will say, I think he's probably a pretty good defensive coordinator. He might be one of those things where he's bad coach, good coordinator. So,
Yeah.
not the worst. However, it is funny because it's the Cowboys and the situation. So,
yeah.
It is. So it's important to note that there is a really significant difference between being a coordinator and being a head coach. And it's mainly that coordinators really generally focus on the football, whereas head coaches, they do that, but they also do a lot of politics stuff.
Yeah,
pretty
you're
much.
You're in charge of the people, the personalities, everything.
Well, and interacting with the GM and the ownership and the media and all that stuff. And they probably they're dealing with the press junkets and scheduling promotional things and whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it feels like coordinators, you're in a much more strategic game type of role. You're how am I going to use the pieces that I have to my advantage, right? And so they obviously talk to the players and do stuff, but it's more along the lines of, hey, what's your strength? What's your weaknesses? I want to put you in a position to succeed. Let's see if we can do something, blah, blah. While a coach is just managing literally everything. They're calling plays. They're calling timeouts. They're making sure everything's in order. They're oh, this guy's screaming at the team, so he's got to go take care of that. He's determining whether to chat. There's just so many different things that they're managing.
Staff
hirings and firing. It's a lot. And so I can see why a lot of the coordinators try to be a coach and then it doesn't work out. But, you're never going to know if someone's a good coach as a coordinator until they get hired. And then you either, you get the Kevin O'Connells and Matt LaFleur's and stuff, or you end up getting the Adam Gases and Josh McDaniels.
Yeah.
So you just gotta see.
Well, you can also get an Andy Reid, which I would think is kind of like a Kyle Shanahan a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
which is he had a lot of success for a long time with the Eagles, but they never did anything. And then he left, and now he's, well, you know what it is. You know what's happening.
Sure do. So yeah, there we go. That's
also worth noting that Eberflus was apparently the linebackers coach for the Cowboys for 7 years back in 2011. So he's got ties there.
That makes sense. Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. It sounds like Jerry Jones is handpicking.
It sure does.
The coaching staff.
So then we had the games.
Oh,
God.
Games.
Yay.
I'm excited about them.
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
boy.
no, I love talking about the games.
Love the
games.
Games
The
of
games.
football.
Yep. The games. You could just say the games for another 30 minutes.
The games. I think most people kind of wanted that. Yeah, it'd be like a group meditation that we could all do together.
Nice.
Games.
Maybe we all need it.
So
yeah, I think so.
We had Commanders Eagles, and this game was actually competitive at the half. It looked like the Eagles were pulling ahead.
Kinda.
And then the Commanders started coming back, and you're like, oh, okay, what's going on here? And then
They had that big fake punt. That was crazy.
Yeah, they had the big fake punt.
Yeah. On the first drive, the Commanders came out with their scripted drive, and I think they completed 2 4th downs on their first drive.
Yeah.
But then I think it ended in 3.
I think they also were down. It was 17-15. They went for 2 and they missed it, so it could have been tied. Yeah. And then in the third quarter, Washington got 8, Philadelphia got 7, and then in the fourth quarter, the Eagles got 21 unanswered, and that was that.
Yeah.
I think the best way to concisely explain this game is that on the Commanders' first drive, it was like a punishing drive down the field. They completed 2 fourth downs and they got a field goal.
Yeah.
Then they kicked it off to the Eagles, and on the first play, Saquon Barkley runs 40 yards or however many for a
Yeah.
touchdown.
Yep.
And that's basically what happened in the rest of the
Yep.
game is that Saquon Barkley is relentless and a monster. And how many was it? 3 or 4?
3 touchdowns,
Yeah.
and 118 yards on 15 carries.
I mean,
It's pretty good.
So we really ought to be giving the Eagles their flowers this year because they are deserving of this Super Bowl spot. Like I'm so much less
Yeah.
bothered by Philadelphia being in the Super Bowl again as I am by Kansas City. Like,
oh yeah.
yeah.
this is probably the best. This is the best team in the NFC. Full stop. Like,
Yeah.
obviously they just proved it, but like statistically and
Yeah.
just like on paper, like they have all the best weapons. Saquon's having one of the best years of a running back's career. Period.
Yeah,
just his
ever.
best career year, and this team is incredibly good. Like
Yeah.
we dunk on them because they're Philadelphia and because
Yeah.
he wants to see a fucking Super Bowl.
Well, and also, yeah, they were
deserve to
here
be
2
here.
years ago. You got Chiefs Eagles again. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why everyone's upset.
Yeah, exactly.
know?
But, like
Yeah.
overall, though, like we should put some respect on their name. Like it's
Yeah.
deserved.
No, yeah. I mean, and Saquon is, he's another level.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like it is incredible watching him play.
For the 50th time, I'll attach onto that like Saquon parentheses and the offensive line
Yeah.
have been incredible
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, this is a full unit, man, and the defense is doing work too, and often comes up with some big plays that can cause like huge swings in momentum. And this is a team that could beat the Chiefs. I just hate that that's what the situation is.
Yeah. In fact, I believe they played each other at some point.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
I can't
Chiefs won,
remember.
I believe.
Because I remember people saying something like that, unless it was a different year.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they played them this year, from what I can
Yeah,
see.
maybe it wasn't this year. They played it. Yeah, check the last time they played.
Oh, it was November 20th, 2023, and the Eagles beat the Chiefs 21-17.
Oh, okay. All right, but that was
Yeah.
without Saquon too. So yeah, different team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was pre Saquon. Well, and
Yeah.
also, so the last Super Bowl they didn't have Saquon either.
Yeah.
But
Also, I can give if I feel like if Apollo was here, he'd be like, "Are we watching the same teams? The Eagles are frauds." That's what Apollo sounds like.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's very accurate, actually. Wow, it's like he was right here next to.
Yeah, I know. I think I was
They put up
skeptical.
55 points, dude. This is the most
Yeah.
points ever scored in the conference championship. Yeah, it's a good fucking team.
Yeah.
I don't care. Who
Well,
they play.
I don't know. I think the Eagles.
Oh man.
They shouldn't even have been here. I think that I was a little skeptical on the Eagles at first, especially against the Packers. They didn't look that great, but now looking back, maybe the Packers were just such a powerhouse team to go against that it was, they were lucky to get out of that one. But I think what really sells me on the Eagles is this is like the most powerhouse rushing team that we've seen. Like Jalen Hurts also ran for 3 touchdowns this game.
Yeah,
So,
he's always been like the big ground threat in Philadelphia, and now he's got a partner. Like it's
Yeah.
not fair.
Yeah.
He threw for one too in the game.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
threw
like
for one.
this was like a complete. I mean, particularly in the second half, but just like in general, this was like a complete stomping on behalf of the Eagles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so and then Will Shipley had a touchdown just to really mix it up. In
Yeah.
fact, fun fact, the Eagles' 7 rushing touchdowns this game was more rushing touchdowns than the Dallas Cowboys had all season combined.
That's
Come on.
fucking hilarious.
Yep.
Oh, that's so good. Wait, didn't Saquon he broke some playoff record too of his rushing, didn't he?
Oh, did
Oh,
he?
did he? I don't know. That wouldn't surprise me
thought
if
so.
he did.
Report back if you find it.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Saquon.
They were talking about it in the game.
But yeah, like the Commanders did show up at least for
Yeah.
the first half. Like they were fighting, but it just kind of became overwhelmingly clear that they were outmatched. And
Yeah.
this is a massive win of a season for Washington.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, like I mean, this is an insane level of overperforming on on Jaden Daniels' part. Have they announced the finalists or anything for the Rookie of the Year yet? I don't know if they've
I don't know.
don't
put any
think
of those out.
I mean, I would imagine it's down to Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix, and I don't know how you can't take Jaden Daniels.
This guy, God, especially now, yeah.
Like if you just watched him play this year, you would think he's in his like 4th or 5th year or something.
Mhm.
Like he was insane.
So, by the way, Saquon, he's basically chasing the current record for playoffs plus regular season yards. So,
Isn't this Saquon's first playoffs?
maybe?
I think he
I'm
made
trying
it
to
with
think.
the Giants once or twice.
No, the first year, right? Yeah, with Shermer.
Yeah.
I
Well, he was
remember.
also
Surely, right?
when they beat the Vikings the other year in round 1. Then wasn't he there?
Maybe. Probably.
Or he was either there or hurt. But I think he was there.
we are
Database
football
again.
experts
Yeah,
here.
no,
on the
we're doing
podcast.
sports journalism. That's what
Yep,
you said.
this is
This is our
the
passion.
research part, okay?
This is what we
This is
research.
we're
Yeah.
giving you the
We don't have
inside
people
scoop.
in the truck to feed us the fucking stats, man. We gotta be
Yeah.
up on Wikipedia and PFR
I-
here.
All right.
Look,
all
I
right,
know
got
we
it,
make
got
it realistic, but they're not real people. The people in the stat truck. I mean, look, I hate to break
Easy
it
to be
you.
fooled.
Wait, are you serious?
Santa's
But
not
I always
real.
well, who have I been texting?
The Giants, 2022, he played 2 playoff games. He got 114 yards and 2 touchdowns combined in those 2 games.
There you go.
So, yeah.
Thank you,
Nowhere
stat
near.
truck.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so basically, by the way, the Terrell Davis is the guy who he's chasing. In 1998, he ran for 2476 yards total. And Saquon is at 2447.
Oh,
So
so he's basically got it.
Yeah, he's basically going to get it. I mean, unless he, doesn't run for 30 yards in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Gets hurt.
God, that'd be the most bullshit thing, and that's why
The
it's
worst.
gonna happen.
I can see it, yeah.
Yep. Also, the Washington Commanders' former owner, Dan Snyder, hates the
Yep.
Commanders' success. In fact, he said he bleeping hates it.
Of course he does.
This is like
That's
some
good.
TMZ reporter ambushing him outside of a Denny's. Like, who's asking him, how do you feel about this?
I guess it's through acquaintances. So they're like, oh, yeah.
Oh, he's really making an effort to voice his opinions to the point where it's being reported on. He's really fucking bitter.
Yeah.
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised if he's real mad about that because the other owners forced him out.
Yeah.
But
in fact,
then,
it says
then again,
he threatened to kill the sale of the team last minute.
yeah.
So,
Well, I
like-
mean, yeah, he was forced out.
Yeah.
But I mean, by the way, it's important to remember why he was forced out because we have on this podcast, in our great sports journalistic
Right.
way,
We have Emmys.
covered. Yeah, we do. We
Multiple.
made them ourselves. That's how much hard work we put into this podcast. Anyway, Dan
It's all
Snyder.
in that, not in the actual show.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
things take a long time to make.
Mhm, that's why it takes so long. Anyway, point is, Dan Snyder was involved in a scheme to entrap his cheerleaders and basically force them to be prostitutes for his shareholders, essentially. Right?
So we drink
That
his
wasn't-
tears. Yum, yum, yum.
Yeah. Well, so
that was
here's the
one
thing.
of the scandals.
That had nothing at all to do with him being ousted.
Correct.
None whatsoever. No, they didn't give a shit. That happened. That story came and went. You know why he got ousted? Because he fucked with the money. That's why he got ousted. And that's the one rule in life for the rich people. There's no other rules. They don't have to follow any laws, but just don't fuck with the money.
Yeah.
Yep. He had the sexual harassment cheerleader island.
Yep.
Then he apparently harassed a marketing employee with the team. Then the biggest, most important one, of course, he substantiated claims that the team intentionally withheld about $11 million in revenue that was supposed to be shared among the league's 32 teams.
Mhm.
So that was the tipping point, of course. not the
That's-
sexual harassment. So it was just whatever. Well,
Yeah,
Of course not.
we'll say tipping point, and not literally the only thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were cool with everything else.
So yeah, great guy.
Yep.
You know what? Thank God he's mad. Good riddance.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yep. Mhm.
So cool. We had that game. Also, actually, one more thing this game. I don't know if you guys saw, but there was the tush push at the goal line, and the Commanders kept jumping over the line. It had happened 4 times in a row.
Yep.
The Commanders just kept jumping over, and they kept being like half the distance to the goal, but it didn't matter because the ball was on like the 1-inch line.
Yeah.
And so like
I don't even think they move it at that point.
yeah, they barely move it. So I learned, and many of us learned, that the referees can award points from this because the referee came out and he goes, if the Commanders continue to do this, we have made them known that we can award a score if like more penalties are happening and it's said to be intentional.
Wow. Okay.
So they were essentially like, quit doing that.
Yeah.
But then it sucks because it's like, how else do you stop this shitty ass push play, you know?
Yeah.
So that's got to be one of the things we bring up in the rule fixes. We got to fix that push.
Maybe, but the team that was the best at the tush push this year, I mean, I'm not basing this on stats or anything, but
All right, great.
from what I've seen. Well, I mean, I
we
have
would
heard.
expect nothing less from this
Yeah,
sports
it's very important.
journalistic, centerpiece of
Mhm.
reporting.
I have a lot of
Yep.
integrity and
Of course.
integrity,
Yep.
Yeah.
you know, stuff like that.
Mhm.
And anyway, I forgot what I was talking about. What was I talking about?
My bad. Yeah, that
Tush push
jumped in way
statistics.
too deep on
Oh,
that
tush
one.
push. Yeah. Well, the Bills. The Bills were like
yeah.
the best at the tush push. I feel like this year,
Yep.
particularly because of Josh Allen.
Yes.
And they are. Well, we'll get into it, but
Well,
they're not
we're-
around anymore.
We're here. We've gotten into it.
Yeah.
The Bills have lost, and so has America.
Yep.
So this was a good game. It was a competitive game the whole
It
way.
was a good game.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of instances that were
Yeah.
very questionable, as most of these games with the Chiefs end up having.
Yep.
There's a
And
quota.
Yeah.
so the first one was the catch, right? The catch where it looked like the Bills player had it, but then the Chiefs player had it, and then it touched the ground, and then
Yeah.
they're like, he caught it because he like held possession, but it hit the ground. But like, it looked like neither of them had possession, or like they kind of both had it, and then it hit the ground, and then it was a weird play, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I was like trying to look into when it happened. I was looking into like the joint possession
Right.
rules, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the ones at least that I found, I didn't look in the the NFL charter specifically
Yeah.
for the verbiage. But I did get it off the NFL site, and it's vague. It's like very vague. And the only thing that it says is at least as it relates to that play, is it can't be simultaneous possession if one player has possession and then another player takes it away, like, while they're jostling, right? Which, I don't know, seemed like that's kind of what happened during that play. Like when he came down with it, the offensive player only had like one hand on the ball,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know.
It's one of those things.
It clearly bounced off the ground, but they made the argument that it because the ball didn't move, they didn't lose possession.
Right. Like the ball can touch the ground if you have control of it.
Right.
Which I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, it
But-
didn't really move. It's at least reasonable in that way.
Yeah. It was just more like who had possession of it. And it was just like, it was definitely joint possession, but you could kind of argue either one. It was a weird play, but like, that's whatever, right? It happened. Every game has some stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think the craziest one was the late in the game, fourth and like a yard, right? And they go for it. They just gone for it already and gotten it. And so then they do another 4th and 1 and they go for it. And it looks like they got it. and then they're like, nope, didn't get it.
Yeah.
And then they show all these different angles, and they're like, yep, didn't get it. But then from some angles, looks like he got it. And so everyone's like, well, did he get it? And it's like, maybe we have like some sort of overhead camera like we did in the Eagles game. And they're like, no, we don't have that. We can't have that. So they're just like, that's it, which was an insanely critical drive because the Bills are up. And the clock's ticking down. They're going in the Chiefs' territory. And if they get this, it's possible that they score again and go up 2 scores, right? I mean, it's it's possible that they also turn the ball over, some crazy shit happens. So it's not like it's super likely.
Yeah.
But that was like a momentum killing play. And so it all is because the NFL doesn't want to have more camera angles or whatever it's unfair to the teams that don't have. You know what's unfair is just this shit. Like, people just want to, like, that's the thing that bothers me the most is, like, people just want accuracy. Like, I don't care if the Chiefs win or whatever, as long as it's like a fair, accurate thing, right? Like, okay, well, he didn't get it. That's just the way it is. Instead of like, did he get it? It looked like he got it. Well, I don't know. I guess we'll never know. Like, what?
Yeah. And, one thing that we were talking about in the chat while it was happening, too, was how the way the system works with, like, I don't know what to call it, like the precedent of how to reverse things. Because the call on the field, whatever the call on the field is like, it's it's like a sacred thing.
Yeah,
because
it's like a glory hole.
Right, exactly. Yeah. That's where Jerry. That's where they kept him.
Man,
Jerry.
That brought me right back in.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like when you have like a call on, like, for instance, weird catch happens. The call on the field is it's a completed catch. Then it goes into the next step where they're reviewing it, where there needs to be clear evidence, right, that it's not a catch for it to be overturned. Yeah, otherwise, the call will stand rather than being confirmed, right? Which basically, because there are like 2 scenarios where the call remains as it is, and only 1 scenario where it's overturned, I think more often than not, you have situations where they're just not, they say that there's not clear enough evidence. And that's what happened in this case. They're like, oh, there's not clear enough evidence because we don't have the camera angles. Even though, you could make the argument either way, really. But I mean, it was pretty, I don't know, he looked pretty much past, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane that in 2025, we are relying on like 70-year-old, 60-year-old dudes to like eyeball it and go like, I think it was here.
Yeah.
And then the other guy's like, I don't think it was there. I think it was there. And they're like, let's just go meet in the middle.
That's actually exactly why I brought up the call on the field, because during this, the first call on the field was that he got it, right? And then the other call from the other ref was that he didn't get it. And they went with the ones that the call that he didn't get it.
Okay, ready? My first idea for how to fix the NFL.
All right.
Ooh, yeah.
We get a laser.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put it in the chains that they use to measure the first down. You start there so we can have like a literal laser pointing all the way across the field, showing you a physical representation of where you have to get to. Then, on top of that, put little trackers at the tips and in the center of the football.
That's crazy.
And that way, you know exactly not only where the line is, you know exactly where the ball ended up when the player goes down, because you have a computer that can read the tracker in the football, and fucking that's not even advanced anymore. You can do that shit on an app, I bet.
I'm gonna blow your mind right now. They don't have the laser currently, but they already have the tracker in the ball.
Yeah, for the
like all of the balls that they are playing with right now have they track data, and that is sold to various groups, but I think mainly
so
PFF
every ball they play with already has like similar technology in it.
already. Yeah.
Okay, so I can't even muster up the passion for it anymore. It's just so disheartening when everything comes down to they just don't want to spend the money on that improvement because there's no
There's no
financial
material benefit. Yeah. Yeah. No,
Well,
yeah.
I found an article that says during the January 15th Bengals Ravens wild card game, this is from 2023. There had been fans wondering if there's a computer chip in the ball. So this is 2 years ago, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And it turns out that there is, and it's for the next gen stats NFL shit or like Amazon shit, right?
PFF. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the chip is only accurate to 6 inches. So ball measurement decisions are left up to the chain gang.
Who are accurate to within what?
Yeah.
Sorry. What's their measurement? What's
Yeah.
their expected fucking differential? Can you answer me that, friend?
It's
Well, you know what? It's not even the chain's fault. Sorry, I'll get over there in a
All
second.
right, good.
But it's not even the chain gang's fault because it has to do with the spot of the refs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's really the main. That's like the critical point of failure is the spotting by
Is
the
the
refs.
visual spotting, yes,
Yeah.
which is improvable in very simple ways that we've probably brought up multiple times before.
Yeah.
It's like there has to be something. Like even just like heat sensors, like a heat sensor on the ball, or like just literally anything.
That's
Or
somewhere
just
between a joke
cameras?
and real suggestion. So I want a joke one now from Rob if we can get
Okay.
that.
All right. All right. Here's how we do it.
Yeah.
Let's make it so that if the ref calls a, say pass interference or false start or whatever, any kind of flag, right? We train an elephant and we don't feed it. We train an elephant to get vicious over the sight of a yellow flag, and then the elephant will stomp onto the field, kill all the refs, and the game can continue.
Okay.
Right?
That got way more violent than I expected it to. But
Well,
okay.
I mean, sometimes we gotta cast the wide net.
You gotta-
we gotta figure out all the things, all the possibilities.
I
You gotta
think
trample a few bodies if you want to make progress
Right,
in
you
this
gotta crack
world.
a few eggs or
Yeah.
heads. That's how it goes.
Same
see,
thing.
I got an idea here. So
Okay.
if you think that the ball placement is wrong and you're arguing with the ref, once per game, you get a ball placement challenge. However, this challenge just boils down to some sort of like gimmicky, fun Pro Bowl-esque thing. So like you got to throw a ball really far into a net. And if you do that, then you automatically get your first down.
Oh, sick.
I'm game for this.
Or like
That's
your
some
kicker,
Calvin ball shit, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, your
Can
kicker
I give you
can
guys?
kick like a 7-yard field goal. If he makes it, you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, something
Can
fun.
you guys hear me out on one?
All right.
Okay. How about this? This is wild, I know,
Mhm.
but very, very wealthy ownership has a lot of money and a lot of profit from the NFL, and they make more profit every year. I think if they invest in 200 cameras and put them at on either side of the field, every single yard, we won't have this big of an issue.
I think that's
You
the
know?
dumbest fucking idea I've ever heard in my life.
There ain't a cloud in sight. It stopped raining.
Could you imagine if like we just had a couple more cameras? Wouldn't that be crazy? I mean,
Yeah,
the
this day and
crazy
age.
part is we've talked about this throughout the season. Like there's camera angles that the TVs can use that the referees can't. Why?
Yep.
Why? There's
Yep.
no. It's so stupid. It's like the dumbest shit. And then
It's what Bear brought up earlier, right? And what I've said before
Yeah.
too is that like if there's no profit in it, there's no reason for them to do it. In fact, if they make more money next year, which they almost certainly will, why would they? Why? In fact, like they shouldn't add things. They should take things away. Then they'll make even more money.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm warming up my commenting fingers here.
Some football show. They don't even talk about the games that have. This was actually a very competitive game between the Bills and Chiefs. And all they can talk about is how the owners don't want to spend it.
I
We
mean-
don't care about this game, man. Isn't that clear to you by now?
hurt
Who
us.
gives a shit about the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl again? Are you kidding me? You really care about that? I hope to God you don't.
I mean,
I
there's
mean-
probably still a handful of Chiefs fans.
No,
There's Chiefs and Eagles
get
fans
rid
up
of
there, but
them.
Yeah.
Get rid of them.
But I
every
mean,
other
like,
person.
yeah, no, really. I mean, you can see the reaction on the internet, right, about
Yeah.
it. Like, it's not it's not an uncommon sentiment.
Yeah.
The game actually was competitive,
Yeah.
and then basically, and maybe we should talk about this. Josh Allen kind of fucked it up on the last drive,
Yeah.
and
Honestly, the
even
play
though he-
calling was pretty suspect overall over the last whole fourth quarter for Buffalo. Like, they made a lot of mistakes in this game, and not to mention they also had a lot of opportunities in this game given to them. They recovered a couple of fumbles, right?
yeah.
There's quite a few fumbles.
I mean, Josh Allen on that first drive, I remember too. He threw two passes that should have been picked. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like the Chiefs seem to be Josh Allen's Achilles heel.
The Chiefs played better in this game and won because of it. Like that.
Yeah, true.
I just don't care.
Exactly.
That's the point I'm trying to make. How could I care about this anymore unless I was like a family member of one of the players? Like, who gives a shit now? It's so tired.
The thing is, I don't understand how. How do they do this?
Well, the
what
Bills,
do they do?
I think they fumbled a lot, but they recovered every fumble, so they didn't actually lose the ball.
Yeah.
The Chiefs actually lost it once. So
I like memory hold a lot of this game after watching it.
It's like what I said. Like the Chiefs are not a fun team to watch from an outsider perspective. Like they're a team that it almost feels like they play down to their competition, and then as soon as they have to get the job done, that's when they come alive and they're like, all right, we have to actually play football now.
Yeah,
Bro,
and
it feels like my high school bully won the lottery. Like, it's so frustrating because this is the popular kid getting everything they want. It's fucking Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes, the biggest bitch in the universe, who are all just like the benefactors of happenstance and some suspect calls, but also like obviously like make big plays when it counts too. Like, not to discredit them, but everybody knows like there's always a little caveat attached to every big moment in this
Especially
storied
this year.
history.
Yeah, especially this year. It's like this year just feels like everything that could bounce their way, like 90% of the time it does.
Yeah.
And it's just boring. Like
it's very boring,
It's
dude.
boring.
It is very boring to have an Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl again.
It's
so dumb.
Twice in 3 years.
Yeah, it also just like it gives me some sort of like weird anger because I think back to like not even from just like I hate the Chiefs, just like a Packers thing where I'm like, why couldn't we get that one year? Like, why couldn't the Seahawks year? Why didn't we just get like catch the onside kick? We've done it. Or maybe he doesn't catch it. It bounces to a Packer. Like, oh, what great luck for the Packers to get out. No, there's like, get shit on, you dumb idiot. Here's your ayahuasca quarterback. Suck dick. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
And that was
I relate.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
But we got our one Super Bowl. But it's just, it's just like, we could have had some more. How many championship games we were in? It's like, all right, but it's.
Dude, you know, I was saying it on this podcast. And maybe it was just me trying to speak it into the world. But I said, you know, Brady and the Patriots, they're an anomaly. You know, if you look over the course of NFL history, it didn't happen like that for any other team. The teams that were like really successful won multiple Super Bowls, but they didn't win them all in the same, you know, group.
Yeah.
They won them like 2 at a time, 3 at a time over a couple of years, you know what I mean? And then Brady comes in and wins 8 and whatever. And I figure, okay, that's an anomaly. And then I was saying for like years, like, okay, the Chiefs, you know, they're real good, but they don't have a dynasty yet. Okay, so, you know, they're not just Brady. Brady was an anomaly. But it turns out Brady's not an anomaly. He's just the trend. And it seems like that's what the NFL is now, which I think they got to do something about. Because if you look at the list of who's been in the playoffs, particularly the championship game in the Super Bowl for the past like 20 years, it's about the list is like 10 names long.
Yes.
You know?
But I don't know what you do. Like, what do you?
I don't
I
either.
don't think there's a solution to it. I think that God,
Well-
God, no, hold on. I have to say it, man.
All right.
Because it sucks that I have to say this, but Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady are just like a different level of competitor. They are
I mean,
a
that's
Michael Jordan
true.
level of competitor that is just dominant and wins when it matters most. And this is what happens when you are
Yeah.
competing against players like that. Like I can feel Apollo's ears burning. I know, like I get it. I don't like hearing me say it either, and I don't think I'm necessarily right, but it does feel like a legitimate explanation for what's happening.
Nah, I mean, at this point, he is. I mean, Pat Mahomes is Pat Mahomes, right? Like he's already a Hall of Famer.
He's the biggest bitch in the world,
Yeah.
and simultaneously a legendary Hall of Fame level football player. Yes.
Yeah.
Go out there and play
absolutely.
football. Is what we do.
Hey, you guys got any ketchup for this well done steak?
I will say
Yeah.
that the Chiefs, the last year or two, like this year and last year, I would say are more carried by the defense than they are Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, for sure. Oh,
A
for
lot
sure.
of the time, yeah.
Like
But
Steve Spagnuolo's defense is genuinely like one of the best defensive schemes like in football. Like he was a shitty head coach, but like I think he is the ultimate example of a shitty head coach being an insanely good coordinator. Like,
yeah,
it was
he's had a
obvious
really good
that-
career.
Well, I was gonna say it was obvious that even yesterday he like knew what Josh Allen was gonna do. He was like playing into that, and like I think that final drive was him just confusing Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There was that corner blitz, I think, near the end of the game.
Yeah,
too,
that,
right?
that was the last play, I
Mhm.
think. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was a crazy gambit, dude. Like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
could have blown up in his face, and it just worked perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was doing. Tony Romo was talking about it in the game, right? He said at the end, Steve Spagnuolo's tendency at the end of the game was to like all out blitz, and then Tony predicted that he's not going to do that.
Yeah,
And that's what he did. It looked at the line like it was an all out blitz, but then they all dropped back into coverage and they only rushed 4.
Yeah.
But then they came with the corner, I think, or
Right.
maybe that was
Mhm.
the other play. But
no, the last play was definitely. I was just looking at it. Yeah, as the corner
Yeah.
blitz where he just comes free, like unblocked, just straight at him.
Yeah. So, like, in my mind, I think I'm more impressed with how good their defense has been more than anything.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, look, they still scored 32 points, and actually, they've scored over 30 in every playoff game. I feel like, right? I mean, I don't know if that's
I don't
they
know.
beat the
only
Texans
played
23-14.
oh, okay.
So, you were
But
wrong.
they
yeah.
no, like to your point, though, this is the most points they've scored this season, and they did it when it mattered most. Again, like they're
Yeah.
coming
Yep.
up in the big moments continuously, and that's as much
Yeah.
as we want to complain about the suspect calls, they just keep fucking doing it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember back in the Brady days, they used to do that. Bill Belichick, right? Like they would run a more simple playbook until they got to the playoffs. And
Oh, yeah.
and Bill even had like special packages for the Super Bowl because
Yeah.
that's how confident he was.
Yeah.
Well, that was the expectation every season.
Yeah. I mean, and you know, maybe that's partly what's happening here. Like maybe the Chiefs looked shitty during the regular season because Andy Reid's hiding his best shit.
Maybe.
Yeah.
At
At this point, I'm willing to believe it, dude. Yeah, like
Yeah, I
this
mean-
is championship DNA team. It's
Yeah.
very obvious.
But I mean, you got to feel bad for the Bills now. It's
you don't.
essentially just the it's the 90s all over
The
again.
Bills should feel bad for us.
I think I feel
Absolutely.
bad for the Bills as well because this feels like a Packers 49ers thing where it's like, surely this time we will do it, and then you just
Yeah.
it's like here it is
Or even a
again.
Bills
so
thing
funny,
again,
like-
honestly.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Or-
seriously.
That's what I was saying. The Super Bowl losses, but instead of that, it's
Yeah.
just championship game loss.
Especially considering the fact that the Bills have beaten the Chiefs multiple times in the regular season,
Yeah.
like proving that they can do it. They just keep failing to when it matters.
Yeah,
Yep.
it really feels like the Chiefs just have this aura of dark magic that
Yeah.
just
Yep.
pulsates.
Not to mention they keep having to fucking play an Arrowhead.
That too, yeah. But so the Super Bowl big game is going to be Chiefs Eagles, which again, one of the reasons people are like, I don't care, is because the last like 4 of 5 Super Bowls have been Chiefs 49ers, Chiefs Buccaneers, Chiefs Eagles, Chiefs
Yep.
49ers again, and now Chiefs Eagles again. So it's just like, I think people just like variety.
I want
Just in
something
general.
fucking new.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
new. Like,
Yeah.
like we had Rams Bengals in there, and everyone was like, "Yo, well, this is great."
Yeah, that was fun at least.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
And then, even then, before that, it was Rams Patriots, and then it was Eagles Patriots,
Mm-hmm.
and then we had Patriots Falcons. So like even then, it's just been Chiefs or Patriots with like
Yeah.
a Bengals sprinkled in.
Just actually passing the torch from Brady to Mahomes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
it's-
again, if you expand it to like the championship games too, like
Yeah.
everything for like 20 years before the most recent era was either like Brady, Manning.
Brady went to something stupid
Breeze.
like 11
Yeah.
straight, wasn't it? Or I don't even remember. It was
Yeah,
ridiculous.
he had a run with that with
Yeah.
the championship games.
so it's just people just want variety, but it's not happening. So,
Yeah.
maybe one day it will, but not this year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Kelsey's probably. I mean, how many years left has he got?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You, I think,
He kind of had a
honestly.
down year up until like last week or whatever,
Yeah.
2 weeks ago when he caught like 170 yards.
He's
Mhm.
35. I mean,
He's
Yeah.
getting
eh.
up there.
He was thinking about retiring, before this season.
I mean, if he
Yeah.
beat three piece, this is certainly a fucking high to go out on.
That's
Yeah,
definitely
that's a way to do it.
a way to go out. So anyway, that's the games of the week.
God damn, dude.
Yeah. Then
Yeah.
power
Oh, shit.
rankings.
I'm sorry, Chiefs and Eagles fans, but I
Yeah,
mean,
it
come
is-
on, you get
Yeah.
it. You,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's-
it's like. I mean, we got a Patriots fan here. He knew what it was like when it was happening.
Oh
right?
yeah,
I mean,
I'm
you know.
certainly not like unaware of the situation. Like I rip into the commenters mostly as a scapegoat, but you feel free to talk all the shit you want. That's fine.
No,
Yeah.
no, I just mean like the only equivalent that I've ever had is I was like vaguely a fan of the Yankees a bit when I was
Right.
a kid,
Yeah,
and they have a similar kind of
Yeah.
aura of
Oh, yeah.
everyone hates them.
I mean they're
for
kind
good
of
reason.
they're the blueprint for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, of like
It's-
how to hate a team properly.
Yeah,
I was like that in hockey. We had the Blackhawks win 3 Stanley Cups in like 5 years. So it was
Mhm.
it was pretty close to that. And it was fun. I enjoyed it. And they're bad now. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I had my fun. It was great.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't.
yeah,
I
you
didn't
get-
learn of like a proper hatred for the Yankees until you informed me of the fact that they can't grow facial hair as a member
Yeah,
of the
it's
team.
dumb.
Like,
It
that-
sucks.
yeah.
now I fucking loathe that team.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah.
Um,
Is Steinbrenner still alive? That was his rule. Like, is he?
I think it's his
he's
son
still-
or something.
Oh, and
and
he
they're
kept
just-
it up.
Yeah, and
Legacy
they're-
tradition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're still enforcing it. So
Classic.
yeah. Yeah, it's his son is there. Cool.
Dude, I look.
And you know what?
I was
Neither
never
of
a
them
big-
had facial hair either. I think they're just jealous.
Yeah. I look. I was never a huge Yankees fan, but I was watching back in the day. You remember like the Aaron Boone shit?
Like Derek
Like I watched
Jeter.
that game. Yeah. So I was
Mhm.
at like my favorite player was Mariano Rivera.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And he was great.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Although
He's
I
a
did,
killer.
yeah. I mean, I think I did hear afterwards he had some kind of off the field issue, so I don't want to lionize the guy if he's like a
Right.
Okay,
a
fuck him. Yeah.
predator or something. Yeah. But maybe not. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's great. You
Who
know?
knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can look it up, but we're not gonna. Mariano Rivera.
There's no way to find out, Ralph.
No, it's impossible. Anyway, yeah, he was great. Watching him, I mean, that was like a cool closer. That's a fun time in baseball. But so many games.
Yeah.
Oh
there's so
god,
many
yeah,
games.
there's too many.
And then it all comes down to like the playoffs, which is like 3. So you play 162, and then it's like
yeah,
here's
it's
3.
insane when you put it that way.
Yeah.
Baseball is crazy.
It is.
I mean, it's meant to be drank to, basically.
Yeah. Like
You're
know?
not wrong. Yeah.
baseball's like you go there, it's like you're at a picnic or something.
Yeah, you
Uh,
hardly pay attention to the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a dinner with like live music performing.
Yeah.
Like whenever baseball comes back, I either listen on the radio while I'm driving, and I'm like, "What is it? Oh yeah, 6th inning. That's pretty cool." And then like I'll check later, be like, "Did they win? Oh, they blew it. Well, that sucks."
Well, dude, just like tune into any baseball game and you'll see the people that are behind home plate on their fucking phones. Like they
Yeah.
have the best seats.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody's on their phones everywhere at this point.
Yeah, that's
so.
true.
True. Yeah.
I'm on my phone right now.
Oh. Well, let's move on to the power rankings. Cool. Let's
Power
move on.
Power
rankings.
rankings.
There's no
Let's move
fucking
on to the
power
next
rankings.
segment.
Come on now.
Power rankings.
And
Does
that's-
Ed have
yeah.
one? Does he
That's-
actually have one?
I don't care.
think.
So,
Yeah, we're not.
so now we have the pick'em stats. We
Pick
all
'em
went,
stats.
we all went 0-4 except Randy, who went 4-0 because he.
That's incredible.
Yep.
Just
Randy
amazing.
is now 6-2 predicting conference championship games, 9-3 with locks. He is the only one with a winning record.
That's so funny.
That's fucking hilarious,
Yep.
actually.
Paying the Bills. Krendor's never picked against the Bills in the playoffs and is now on a 13-game streak. Over the past 6 years, he has picked the Bills in the playoffs as many times as he has picked the Bears in the regular season. I mean, this is honestly, I blame everyone else because I was going to lock the Eagles Chiefs, and I think that would have changed the course of history.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe.
But-
Could have been.
Everyone was like, "We got to lock together and form the like Megazord or whatever," and that.
I
didn't
mean,
work.
I would never speak to you again if you had made those selections. So.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
It's-
Especially if they won, because
Yeah.
then we would
It would've been your fault, yeah.
Yeah.
Lock blocked. Bear is now 2-5 on conference championship locks. He's 0-4 when Randy locks the same game as him, regardless of if they pick the same or different teams.
I mean,
That's
frowning bear is just so sad.
Yep.
This poor guy.
Losing command. This was the first time Apollo has incorrectly predicted a Commanders-Eagles game. He is 8-0 in regular season matchups and now 0-1 in the playoffs. And going pro.
Can you check in with Apollo real quick on that stat for me, Coach? If you can maybe summon that a little.
Well, it's probably because the Eagles are frauds.
That's not I don't know if that's a friendly representation of our co-host that we respect and appreciate.
Found a way to eat my butt.
And then he turns into an eagle and flies away.
Yeah, he does do that.
Okay, yeah. Going pro. Rob's Super Bowl picks have perfectly predicted the winner of the Pro Bowl every year.
Really?
That's crazy.
Yeah. 49ers NFC, Eagles NFC, Bengals AFC, Buccaneers NFC, Chiefs AFC, Patriots AFC.
Wait,
Huh.
so does that mean there's a chance that if the NFC wins the Pro Bowl, that the Chiefs will be dethroned?
Well, that if you got to pick them, but yeah.
pick them. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna.
I think you got the power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Also, I really like the W in a locked cage.
Oh yeah, that is funny.
That's
Yeah.
very good.
I
Yeah.
look like, how did this happen? Like, who did this to this poor W?
Yeah.
yeah. Kept on a
Um,
pedestal like that.
yeah. So here we go, folks. This is it.
Oh,
the big
boy.
time. The big time.
Well, we also have our assistant coach of the week and our assistant coach from last week. Did we mention their record?
They also went 0-4 last week.
Oh, right, yeah,
Oh.
because I made them lock both of their selections for
Right,
the,
right,
for the sake
yeah,
of magic.
But
That
this
makes
week
sense,
we
yeah.
have assistant coach Hoff, who
Off
is 192 and 80 on the season. That's pretty
That's
good.
crazy, dude.
70.6%.
Yeah, wow.
That's very high.
That is very good. So and you know what? They're locking the Eagles.
Hell
Okay.
yeah,
Look at
Hoff!
Okay, that is hilarious that the top predicted teams here for the I guess for the playoffs is 10 and 9 with the Eagles. Yeah.
It's
I
of the
know, yeah.
remaining ones,
I
yeah.
know,
so,
yeah.
But it's still no, but these are the teams that he's predicted best somehow, actually.
yeah.
He's 10 and 9 with the Eagles and 8 and 12 with the Chiefs,
Yeah.
which is ominous,
Um.
fortunately.
Shout out to all of our assistant coaches this season, by the way. Thank you
Yeah.
very much for your support of the show.
Thank you sincerely. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed picking in the pick'ems.
Hopefully you're not a Chiefs and Eagles fan and got
Hopefully.
personally offended by that segment.
Yeah. Apologies.
There's probably some that are.
That's all right.
But,
Yeah.
you know.
Hey, you're
It
gonna
is what it
win.
is.
It's fine,
Hey,
dude.
you're
Like,
in the
you're gonna win.
Super Bowl. You don't
you
get to
get
feel pain.
trophies and rings. It's gonna be good for you.
Or you get to
like-
experience the ultimate heartbert. But either way, you know, you were there.
That's a good point. Yeah.
All All right. Well, I think I'm gonna lock the Eagles.
I think I'm also going to lock the
Wait,
Eagles.
we didn't say which games are being played this.
Ah, yeah. So you got to be clear about that,
yeah.
Coach.
Chiefs, Eagles.
You know, I don't want to lock the Eagles either. I want to have some fun with it. I'm going to lock the
Oh, that's right. Our crazy locks.
Yeah, no,
We can do
I
crazy
will
locks,
lock
yeah.
I will lock the entirety of Mercedes-Benz Stadium shouting mustard at about the 2-minute and 30 mark of Kendrick Lamar's single TV off. That's my prediction. That's my prediction for the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Okay.
I do kind of want to re-up my lock of they win the Super Bowl and then Travis Kelce proposes to Taylor Swift with his Super Bowl ring. So we'll just keep that one on the back burner. But my secondary lock is going to be, or maybe my primary lock is going to be that Drake is going to descend on the stadium by zip line, and he's going to get into a fist fight with Kendrick Lamar during the halftime show. And then Travis Kelce and Pat Mahomes are going to get involved, and then they're all going to be expelled from the game for throwing punches.
I love this.
Yeah,
oh,
that's
man.
a good one.
That'd be way better than whatever else could happen.
Right.
Also, I don't think Bears is going to happen because they're not playing in Atlanta. They're playing in New Orleans.
What did I say? Mercedes-Benz?
Yeah. They're playing in the
thought it was New
Caesars
Orleans
Superdome.
Stadium. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's New Orleans. Yeah.
My fault.
Yeah. So switch that one up.
All right.
Or don't. You know?
I mean, actually, leave it. You never know.
You never know.
It could happen.
Yeah. I'm going to repeat my lock of the Travis Kelce proposal to Taylor Swift. I think that's pretty solid chance of happening this time around.
So yeah. So Rob's got his back burner, or kind of anyway, and then I like that. That's solid.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 2 agreed upon locks. That happens, you know. That's it's a normal week, really. All things
Right? Yeah.
considered.
That's pretty predictable.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty solid. And then let's see what Randy decides to lock.
Randy.
Can I make an additional lock?
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yep.
I think that it will. I think that it will snow.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Snowing in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Oh,
Snowing in New Orleans. February
during
night.
hurricane season. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I think it'll snow. I think it'll be a little Christmas magic. I think a little Christmas in February.
Whoa. Folks, Randy has selected the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, you bastard.
He would.
I wonder what Randy's that'll be a stat, I'm sure, for the future that Pixelhaven will, cook up. But I wonder how Randy's been doing on Super Bowl.
That's a good one. That's a good,
because he's the only one that actually plays for reals in the playoffs.
Right?
Yeah,
like he's going for it. We're all
schmucks trying to be funny about it.
Man, yeah, Randy. He's been doing good in the playoffs this year. So maybe he's onto something.
Went 4-0 last week. Just saying. Maybe it's his time.
Maybe it's his time.
Hopefully Randy can succeed on the coattails of the Kansas City Chiefs. I pray for his success.
He deserves it.
I mean, maybe his record is of a curse. Maybe he's always getting the Super Bowl wrong, and now Randy is going to be responsible for the destruction of the Dark Lords.
Brother, I'll hope for anything.
If anyone can do it, it's Randy. Well, that's this week's fun and exciting week of football. And we only got one more show after this, and it'll be in a couple weeks.
Super Bowl!
So
I'm pretty excited for the halftime show. Genuinely, I'm a huge Kendrick Lamar fan. This is going to be awesome for me.
Did we do a stream last time for the Super Bowl? You guys want to do that again?
I'm not gonna watch the game. I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. I'm just gonna watch the halftime show.
That's very fair. Yeah, very fair.
We'll see.
I don't give a damn about this game.
Well, see, that's why I want it, is because otherwise, it's gonna be a struggle.
I feel you there.
I'll probably eat some chicken wings and then watch halftime, and then I could probably do the second half.
I can be there to hold your hand through the labor.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I would appreciate it.
I'll be cheering for Saquon to do well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it might happen, you never know.
He deserves it after the best running back year ever, or one of the best.
Yeah.
I'd say. So he'll probably get 35 yards and no touchdowns.
Yep.
Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you in 2 weeks for the big game.
The big
The
game.
big game. And thank you, patrons.
Thank you,
Patrons.
patrons.
Thank you, patrons. There's the patrons.
Thank you, Pixelhaven. Thank you,
Thank
Hippo.
you,
Everybody that puts work in
Thank you,
that
the
we know.
viewers.
Thank you,
Thanks
viewers.
for watching.
And
Thank
we'll
you to my
see
mom and
you
dad.
in
Nice.
two-
Yeah, thanks to
Thank
Santa
you.
Claus.
Thank
you
you
for
to
teaching me about the
Crendor's
manipulations of the
grandmother.
world.
Thank you, Grandma. And we'll see
Thank
you in 2
you.
weeks.
Ancient
Bye-bye.
Sumeria for
Sure.
giving birth to writing.
Yep.
Oh,
We're
I'm like,
going to
that's a
stop
good
the
one.
episode now.